Back to school is here, and with all the cost of this time of year, you may be feeling the heat. Well, Premier Heating and Air is here to cool things down with great savings and rebates starting at $1,000 on a new heating and air system. Plus, you can choose from a free gift of a Wi-Fi thermostat, UV light, or a $100 Visa gift card. Also, Premier's $59 service call includes the first pound of Freon free. Visit PremierHeatingandAir.com and experience the Premier difference, a locally owned and operated company.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Team Lawrence. I'm your host, Pat Brock, the Public Information Officer for Lawrence County Schools. And ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the year. We are ready to get started. This is the day before our first day of school, and we're starting out the gate hot, ladies and gentlemen, with Kelly Dean. She's been in education for 28 years, so I know you're looking at her. You would think she started when she was 6.
Oh, you're so kind.
Hello, but here she is. Kelly, welcome, and congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. You know, this is my favorite time of year. New school, new year. We're ready to go.
And no, Kelly, you've been doing this for 28 years. You've been in principalship for 10. And how long have you been the principal here at East Elementary?
So this is year 10
Wait
here.
a minute.
Yes, I was assistant principal a few places beforehand, and but this is 10 years here, and I'm just as excited this year as I was the first year.
Kelly, this is your baby right here. This
Absolutely,
is your baby.
this is home.
And you know, ladies and gentlemen, there's great things that are happening here at East Lawrence, also meaning that we're going to be building a brand new school. So Kelly, talk to us a little bit about how last year has gone and then the changes and things that you're implementing into this year.
Sure. Once again, we had a great year last year. Many of our scores improved. We were above the state and RESA average in several areas, and we just every year want to continue to build on that, not only academically, but building on preparing our students and just building the best team and the best staff here. And even though it's bricks and it's mortar and all of that, it's still home, and we're looking and excited about the possibility of having a new school and a new home.
Oh my gosh, Kelly. So here it is. You guys are working steadily to really improve things. And it's like, how do you motivate your team in order to really get those kids to buy into the importance of what you're doing here in education?
So I think when you see success, that helps motivate you for the next level. But we also talk a lot about we're not doing this, we're doing it for a purpose and for a calling. And so when you know you're in your calling and you have a team that supports you, and we try to support our teachers, then you don't really have to have too much extra motivation because you're internally motivated.
For sure. And I'm going to tell a little girl power here, ladies and gentlemen. Us ladies, we're just a different breed, aren't we?
We are.
And when you have ladies in leadership, they run their building a certain type way. And for you, honey, those creative juices are always flowing.
All the time. They call me elementary extra, but I never turn it off. Always looking for ways to just encourage our staff, to support our staff. It's probably cheesy at times, but even like when we handed out our student list, we did lemonade and list. And so they came and picked up their list. We had Chick-fil-A lemonade, just little things to remind them that they're valued and seen and needed here at East Lawrence Elementary.
And that is so very important, especially at the level you're in. And listen, honey, you know I love all your extra.
Thank you.
And because being that extra person, you're really thinking, you're going outside of the normal grain. You're like, what can I do? What can be creative, a little bit quirky, but that will definitely grab their attention and motivate them to do. Because think about it, educators, we have more women than men.
Absolutely, and this is a hard job. Teachers have one of the hardest jobs, and they're on every day. What they do in the trenches is most important. So it is my job to find ways to support them and to encourage them and keep them motivated to do what they do with excellence every day.
For sure. And now your new theme, as you ladies and gentlemen see this backdrop, oh my gosh, we are off to great places here at East Lawrence Elementary. Now you come up with a good theme every year. Now tell us about this one, this mantra.
So last year we started with a hot air balloon theme, and we didn't want to change everything up again this year. Right. So looking at what we did last year and bringing in new people, we thought we're continuing to be off to great places. And that can mean a lot of different things. Within each subject, you can look at different places outside of East Lawrence, outside of Georgia. But then we're also off to things like raising our reading levels and raising our math levels. So we just feel like we're building on it every single year, and we want East Lawrence Elementary to be in the mouth of everyone for a good reason, and to see the things we're doing here and the places we're off to.
And you are off to great places. Now, talking about building a new school, Kelly, this is a huge undertaking for our district. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so our school was built in the 70s, and I'll go ahead and tell you that's when I was born. Our custodial staff does a great job with the building that they have, but it is time. I think our students deserve it, our teachers deserve it. We need to update things, bring it into the modern era. So we're very excited for the opportunity to possibly have the SPLOST and to be able to have those funds to build a new school. And we're already making notes about what we want, what we need, and I think that only add to the motivation and the excitement.
We are so excited and so excited for you. And speaking of that excitement, you've got several new employees in this building, right? Talk to us about them.
So, Pat, I joke with you and always say my draft class. And so my draft class for this year is top notch. We have brought in staff members from surrounding counties, different places, and I think we've got great teams put together. We purposefully look at who to put together and what will make great teams, looking at teachers' strengths and talents, and we've brought in a lot of great ones this year.
Oh my gosh, how many do you have new this year, whether it's educators or in whatever staff position?
So we have 12 new. Some are new completely to our building. Some have moved from parapros to teachers, and that's always exciting when they complete a degree and get to move into that teaching position. And then we have a few that have changed positions within our building.
Wonderful. So we're going to get to chat with a few of those.
Wonderful.
But let me get a little personal with you here. Your baby girl.
Yes, so
University of Alabama.
I have a child heading to Bama on Wednesday. Now, I'm not calling myself an empty nester. I'm calling myself a bird launcher. So I'm about to launch my last bird successfully, but we are excited for her.
And we're excited for you. Well, Kelly, thank you for all the great work that you continue to do in this building, outside of this building, in the community. And we cannot wait to see what this year has in store, the great places you're going.
Thank you, Miss Pat. I appreciate your support, and we're looking forward to a great year as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the fabulous principal here at East Lawrence Elementary, Miss Kelly Extradine.
With OFTC, we're choosing hands-on education to prepare us for a career. We're choosing little to no debt with affordable tuition and local campuses close to home. We're choosing smaller class sizes, a flexible learning environment, and instructors with real-life experience. With OFTC, we're choosing brighter futures. And with flexible class schedules, in-person and online class options, it's an easy choice. Now, it's your turn. What will you choose? Oconee Fall Line Technical College. Careers begin here.
Get a great deal on a great-looking lawn and a really comfortable ride. Introducing Kubota Z200 Series mowers with a new K-Ride comfort system. Designed to optimize your ride so you have everything you need to glide your way to a perfectly manicured lawn. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 1.99% APR for up to 48 months.
Products you can count on, a name you can trust. That's Mid-State Tractor and Equipment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got some fantastic educators here at East Lawrence Elementary, and this is your opportunity to meet a few of them. They're going to introduce themselves to you all, just give you a little backstory, a little history about them, and we're going to talk about what's going on with them right now. How are you doing, darling?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Nice to see you and nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Share with us. Tell us who you are. Tell us all about your family and give us a little history about you as an educator.
Okay, so my name is Bailey Schumann, and I grew up in Lumber City, Georgia, and I have taught 2 years in Telfair County. So I grew up in Telfair County, taught there for 2 years, and I graduated from Georgia Southwestern University, and I just got married and decided to come over here to East Dublin.
Bailey, you're a newlywed.
I am.
Girl, look ahead. This is some kind of honeymoon for you, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And for you, why did you decide? I always like to ask you, what made you decide to go into the field of education, and what do you love about it so much?
So I just really enjoy hanging out with the kids all the time, and everybody says teaching is a work of heart, and I just really enjoy being around the kids and being able to see that spark that only teachers can inspire.
Look at that. And you don't have any kids yet yourself, do you?
No, ma'am.
How many kids do you have in your classroom?
21.
21 kids as a newlywed. That is
That's
fantastic,
right,
Bailey.
that's
Good, wonderful. Hi, darling. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Share with us all about you, please.
Well, my name is Kenya Chapman. This is my 7th year in education. I spent the past 3 years teaching at Dublin City Schools. Prior to that, I taught in Fort Valley. I've also taught in Atlanta. I received my bachelor's and master's from Georgia Southern, and I'm currently working on my specialist degree.
Look at
and
you,
I'll
girl.
graduate in May
And
of
you're a
next year.
mom.
And I'm a mom.
Oh, my Lord.
2-year-old.
Oh my gosh. Now listen, Kenya, how do you juggle all of this, being a mom and handling all the 2-year-old things that you have to handle.
Was
my
definitely a team effort. My husband's also in education, so we kind of tag team it.
I love that.
But education is what I'm passionate about. I come from a family of educators. I've always loved school, so just following in my family's footsteps.
Look at this legacy that you all are leaving behind here. So when you think about, ladies, when you think about in the field of education and your teaching philosophy, how do you manage that classroom? Talk to us about that.
So, as a former athlete, I'm really hands-on, and I enjoy doing the outside activities, and I really enjoy like hands-on activities. So I think if you can get the kids excited and moving and passionate about what they're learning, it makes it so much easier to get them to retain what you're trying to teach them.
And what are you teaching?
5th grade science and social studies.
My goodness, the world is your oyster,
Yes,
young lady.
it'll be very easy.
And as an athlete, what sport?
Softball.
Look at you. What position were you?
I was a pitcher.
Honey, you got the strong arm. I love that, Bailey. And talk to us about your philosophy in teaching, and how do you get the students to not only to retain what you're teaching, but for them to love it, to embrace it, and to really grow from that?
For me, building relationships is really big. If the kids don't believe that you care about them, that you love them, that you have their best interests at heart, they're not going to be willing to learn. So I'm very big about getting to know my students both inside and outside of school. And once you build that relationship, I mean, kids, they aim to please you, and they'll do anything, you know, if they know that you care about them.
And what are you teaching?
5th grade ELA.
Look at you, lady. And now here it is. Now, what kind of advice did you get from your family lineage of educators? Did they give you a good talking to? Did they encourage you to teach, or did they tell you, baby, this ain't what you want? What happened there?
The times have definitely changed, but I see with my family members the relationships that they built with their students. When I go home and I visit my grandmother and we're out, she'll run into her former students, and they can remember the time, you know, that they were in her class. But definitely being firm as well, you know, that old school teaching with classroom management and all of that. But really just, it's a work of the heart, like Bailey said.
I love that analogy of it. And, you know, ladies, when you're talking about being educators in the elementary school, you've got to be able to let, you know, as I spoke with Kelly about those creative juices flowing. So when we go into your classroom, what kind of atmosphere do you present?
I would like to present a very fun atmosphere. Like I said before, hands-on activities. I want the kids up and moving. And I don't want, you know, 5th grade should not be about lectures and sitting there taking notes. It should be about getting your hands in it, doing something, learning. But like she said, a loving and caring environment is what it's all about. And so making those kids feel loved and seen and supported, that's what it's all about.
And, you know, that's beautiful. And, of course, you know, being here on the east side and that, you know, so many people know one another, these kids got to get to know y'all, don't they?
They do.
Now, so what kind of activities have you planned for them for day one?
Get to know you activity, asking them about their summer break, what their interests are. With me teaching ELA, asking what type of materials they like to read. Getting them to get comfortable with their classmates as well, fostering that community environment.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited for both of you to be here and to be able to give us all that is already ingrained within you. And we're looking forward to seeing you girls grow into your own, you know, because when you're talking about being an educator, it's not for the faint of hearts. So whether or not you come from a lineage of educators, or here you are an athlete, baby girl, now you're in the classroom, you still have to be able to develop that rapport and to still be able to grow. Now, you all are on the same team, right?
Yes.
So this has been Teacher Planning Week this past week. What have y'all been working on? What's Kelly had y'all do?
So we've actually been kind of planning some stuff together, getting our communication folders together, getting our student binders together, just trying to plan the logistics of everything for the first week to make sure it goes successful, and then the real stuff will start happening in the next few weeks.
Honey, you about to get on it, right? And, you know, you talking about, you know, the discipline in a classroom, that is paramount, because, you know, kids will try to run you, right? And so you've got to establish that rapport with them right off, right? And you tall, and you already got that face on of don't play with me, honey. You know what I mean? So do you make sure that discipline is there, that structure is there immediately?
I do, but at the same time, I don't want it to be a situation where they fear you or they don't like you, but letting them know, like, hey, these are my expectations. I'm setting the bar here. If you don't achieve those expectations, we all make mistakes.
Right.
And, you know, just being forgiving, but as well kind of giving them that push. I typically say, you know, like at home you have your parents, but at school I'm kind of like the parent, so the same respect that you would give them is the same respect that I expect, and I'm going to give you the same respect in return.
Well, that segues into what I would ask you, ladies, of what would you like the parents of the children that are going to be under your care know? What would you like to say to those parents? Because what you need is that congruent, that buy-in. You need the parents and your relationship to be solid so that when there are some issues that you're able to address, that you'll be able to handle that like adults and be able to communicate and get what you need, and so that you have the child's best interests at heart. So what do you want to say to those parents of those 21 students?
So it's all about the support from home, because we can teach rules and rituals, and we can, you know, set them up for success at school. But if they're going home and it's being backtracked and it's not being supported at home, you know, we start over every single day. And it's very hard as an educator to get them to buy into those rules and expectations when they're not seeing that at home.
Honey. So in other words, parents, we don't need no Groundhog Day. Let's get it together, right? We don't need to do the same thing over and over. We need your support.
That's right.
All right, what would you like to add to that, Ms. Chapman?
I would like to add that we're on the same team. We both have the same interests at heart. Just like you love your child and want what's best for them, it's the same for us as educators. In any way that I can help or support, I'm here. And like Ms. Schumann said, it is a team effort. What we implement at school, it works out a lot better if it's reinforced at home.
And I'm going to translate that. Mamas, daddies, grandmas, grandpas, meemaws. The teacher is not your enemy, okay? You all are on the same team and you're working together for the betterment of that child. And so starting out the gates early, Ms. Chapman, it's been a pleasure seeing you. You walked through those doors the other day and I said, look her here. Glad to have you here. Thank you for everything that you've done in your previous districts. Thank you for changing and transforming the lives that you have in your past districts, okay? Thank you. And you, young lady, oh my goodness. Congratulations for you on your marriage, and we hope that as you grow as an educator that you'll come into your own. We're so glad to have you here. Thank you for all you've already done, and we cannot wait to see what you have to offer for these little Falcons. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ms. Schumann and also Ms. Chapman, new educators here at 5th grade at East Lawrence Elementary.
When someone says the word bank, what comes to mind? For most folks, it's probably money or loans. Maybe it's false. The problem is, these are all just things. And a bank is not a collection of things. A bank is a collection of stories. If you've been around long enough, you've heard one of us say, it pays to bank blue. The hero of our story is you. Every home bought, every business opened, every dream secured has been your story. We've just had a front row seat, and we can't wait to see what you do next.
Georgia Pools is your authorized dealer of RecTech grills. From smoking to searing, RecTech grills do it all. So come into Georgia Pools today and grab life by the horns. We also carry all the Yeti products you could need: coolers, tumblers, cups, and more. Find all of this and more at Georgia Pools. Call 478-275-3607 today or come on in to 1201 Hillcrest Parkway in Dublin. Georgia Pools, your authorized RecTech dealer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got 3rd grade educators here, and you know, when you talk about a critical time in these kids' lives, when you talk about testing, you've got to have those rock stars right here. And ladies and gentlemen, Kelly has hired the best. We'll start to my left. We got Vicki Walker. Now, me and Vicki go way back. Yes, but Vicki, you're going to have to give them a little bird's eye view of you, your life, and talk to us about your time as an educator.
Okay, well, this is my 31st year of teaching. I did retire on my 30th year, and I just felt like I needed to come back and give more. I hadn't given all I have to education, and what better place to do it than at ELE. So I want to help the Falcons here soar And I'm just so excited about this whole school year. Everyone has just been awesome here, and I just love how everyone works together. And after open house and meeting the parents, they have set the tone for me. The students have set the tone for me from open house, and I am just ready to get started with my students and help them reach their potential.
Oh, Vicki, they don't know who they have in you
Oh,
yet, do they? They're about to learn today. I think I remember when I first came back to Georgia, and I think you were at Saxon. Were you at Saxon
Yes,
at one
I was
point?
at Saxon.
And I remember coming out and interviewing you then with TV 35 and just seeing how transformative you are as an educator and how you really get these kids to buy in. Yes. And you haven't stopped yet.
No, and I'm not going to stop. Not until the Lord tells me
There
to.
it is.
Yes.
And how's your daughter?
Oh, she's just doing great.
How old is she now?
Now she's 10th grade and she's 15, about ready to drive. So, you know, it's that time of year and I'm excited about that as well.
Very good. All right, we're going to segue here. How are you, darling?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Talk to us. Tell us who you are, and let's hear a little bit about yourself and your time and your work as an educator.
Okay. My name is Christy Beck, and I'm a third grade teacher. I moved here from Bleckley County. My son worked here last year in 5th grade as a co-teacher, and he loved it so much I decided to come on over.
My goodness. So you are influenced by your son.
I am.
Oh, us mothers and our boys. It's
That's
something
right.
else, isn't
That's
it?
right.
And tell us about your time as an educator, what you bring to the table.
I have experience from grades pre-K through 5, so I know what the expectation is. I know when I'm looking at something that's a little higher, something that's a little, maybe not quite at a 3rd grade level. And I've been in different districts, so I've seen things that worked. I've seen things that didn't work.
Right.
So I feel like I can bring that to the table and just maybe encourage some of the better practices.
For sure. And when you think about 3rd grade, this is a very critical time. Share with the people out there about just talking about how critical it is for those kids at that grade level.
Okay, at that grade level, I'm specializing this year in, or teaching this year, math. But I want the parents to know and everyone out there to know how important reading is and how that reading comes into play into the math classroom. So this is a testing year. We try not to make it where it's scary for the kids, but we also want them to do their best. So, it's our job to just help them to meet them where they are. Maybe if we have to scaffold back a little bit, that's fine. But at the end of the day, we want them to do well on their testing, not just standardized testing, but all their testing this year, So, but it is a critical year as far as testing. Yes.
And there's so much pressure put on this testing and making sure that, there's a lot on that. And I think as educators, you're co-teachers, so you'll be in the room together. When you think about all the pressure in this level, how do you as an educator help take that pressure off the children so that they can actually really embrace what's going on, the information that they're learning, so that they can actually process it and then put it out on paper?
I want the children to know that who they are as a student, as a person, is not encapsulated in that one day of a test. To just do their best. And it's not the questions that they don't know that are going to help them meet that mark. It's the questions that they do know, the answers that they do know. So focus on what you do know and then work on what you don't. And just understand that you need to try your best.
Yes.
But sometimes you get too upset about it, it can really work against you.
For sure. And now you two are working together, right? So did you know one another before?
No, we did not. But let me say, it seems like we did. Like, yes, we clicked right from the beginning. And it just seems like we've known each other forever. I guess it's because of our teaching experience and the things we've gone through. We've seen the same things in the classroom. And I wanted to piggyback off of Ms. Beck as far as what you were saying with how do we make the students, a little more comfortable with testing. It starts at the beginning of the year where we just make learning fun. And if you make learning fun, then when they get ready to take those tests, they're going to bring in those same skills and learning experiences into the testing environment. So, yeah.
And talking about that environment in your classroom. And so when you think about that environment and making learning fun, at the 3rd grade level, you got to be so creative. Now, like I say about the wheels on your bus always turning, they're turning now, aren't they? They're turning. Y'all let's get this interview over because we got stuff we need to do. Tomorrow's the first day of school, and you coming into our time, right? So when we come into your room, what are we going to expect? What kind of atmosphere do you promote?
Like Ms. Walker said, I think we're just going to work together really well. We just have the same heart for the children, the community, those around us. And I feel like you're going to see, you know, who's the teacher.
Yeah.
Who's the classroom teacher? Who's the homeroom teacher? I don't think you'll be able to tell. And I think those two people supporting those students who may or may not be completely comfortable where they are, I think that that'll make a lot of peace and just settle them down so that they can open up, build their confidence, and learn.
And you know, thank you for that. And you know, when you're talking about first day of school, these kids have been doing no book learning all summer long. Right. And you know, and I remember when my kids were little, my sister Dorothy, she would always have these packets, these education packets. So our kids would do work during the summer. Right. And but there are a lot of parents that don't do that. They don't promote reading during the summer. So what kinks do you feel you're gonna have to work out when they get there?
Well, I think the main thing is just finding out where the students are, as I said earlier, and then just meeting them where they are and moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, you know, kids are on vacation, which they deserve that, you know. So that's why I said we meet them where they are, and then we push them forward from there. Very good. Yes.
I love that. Now, what messages, like we did with the other two teachers, do you all want to give to these parents out there? Because it's like, you know, that relationship is so important. And you like, you know, just basic things of making sure your baby go to bed on time, making sure they eat, make sure they're, you know, all of those things. What do you want to say to the parents of those kids in your classroom?
I want to say that I think I heard another teacher say it, that we're on the same team. We're not here to work against you. Sometimes from a different perspective, a different school perspective, things can come off initially like maybe we're not going to get along, but I want them to know that everything's figure outable. We can work together and create a student that is ready for the 4th grade.
Oh, I love that. Same team, parents, same team. What else would you like to add?
And I would just like to add the same thing I told all of my parents doing open house, that, you know, we're here to work together and that we have an open door policy. You are welcome in this learning environment. And if there's something that you don't understand, a phone call, or if you want to just come and sit in the classroom so that we're all on one accord and we're not getting the students confused about what they're learning and teaching it 2 different ways, you are more than welcome to come in the classroom with us and get involved in the learning.
I love that, ladies. I love that. So parents, you have heard it from these two right here. You know, you are on the same team. You do want the same things, the same goals of our children being successful in that classroom, so that can translate outside of the classroom. And one last thing now, you were a step teacher. Oh,
yes,
you still got some steps? Oh,
I do have some step moves and dances, and some of the parents have been asking, and I told them, let's just hold off for a second and let me get my feet wet, and then we'll see if we go from there.
Exactly. Let Miss Walker get her feet in the door before y'all start piling stuff on her. Well, listen, congratulations, ladies. We're so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for what you've already poured into those kids at Bleckley County. And you know, when you think about transitioning from a different district, that is a transition truly from you, because things that are happening that may be a little different. But I want to thank you. The kids are still the same. Kids are still kids. So thank you so much for all that you've already done.
Yes.
And we're excited to have you here at Lawrence County Schools so that you can pour all of that and then some into these kids here. And Vicki, you and I, come on now. We go way back. You and my sister were roommates in college.
Yes.
We played basketball together.
Yes.
I think I was a senior. What grade were you? Were you a sophomore?
A sophomore, and you were a senior.
Yes. So we go way back, baby girl.
Yes.
But just thank you for all that you've done, your dedication to these young people, to the community, and what you love about it so much. Thank you for all you've done at Dublin City Schools, baby. That's our alma mater. But here you are now with this transition to East Lawrence. We know that everything that's in you, you're going to pour it into these kids right here. And we're glad to have you with us.
It's my pleasure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, these are 3rd graders. We're 3rd grade teachers here, and they're here to do great things here at East Lawrence Elementary.